Let's get to it. DJ, spin that shit.
Okay, no, Randy, put your cup down and turn around. Ma'am?
No. Let go of me. You let go of me. Let go of me. Let go of me. Let go of me. Oh, no. Let go of me. Go. It hurts. Let go of me. Give me my
Do not hit. Do you understand?
Stop it. No, let go of me. Yes, you are, Caleb. Give me my key to my car. Give me my key to my car. Give me my key to my car. Give it to me. Give me my key.
Stay out of here. Step outside for me, please.
Take my purse. Let go of me. You're hurting me. And I'm going to show all the bruises that you put on me.
If you're not going to cooperate, you'll be charged with obstructing.
Let go of me.
You understand that?
You let go of me now.
No, ma'am.
You're bruising me. Let go
Stop
of me.
pulling against us.
I'm not pulling against you. Let go of me.
Then stand up like an adult.
Shut up. What an asshole thing to say to me.
You can't make this stuff up, man. So, in case you don't know who this individual is, hey Carla, hey Carla, I was thinking the same damn thing before I came on live. You, shouts out to my sister Carla Jacobs, man. I was thinking the same exact thing before I came on live. I'm like, this chick looked like a Paula Deen, but anyway. I tell you, man, great minds think alike. Oh my goodness gracious. But yeah, this chick right here, her name is Tina Peters. All right, she was a county clerk for Mesa County out in Colorado. Now, she was found guilty on August the 12th on 7 out of 10 charges, including 4 felonies, 3 counts of attempting to influence a public servant, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit criminal impersonation. She was also convicted on 3 misdemeanors: first-degree felony, first-degree official misconduct, that's the 1 misdemeanor, violation of duty, the 2nd misdemeanor, and the 3rd, failure to comply with the order from the Secretary of State. Now, these charges are all tied to a security breach for elections equipment at the Mesa County Clerk and Recorder's Office in May 2021. Her assistants, Brenda Kinsley and Sandra Brown, both accepted plea deals in exchange for testifying against Peters. Because see, hey man, when you bring down somebody like this, it's always the case. The little fish get themselves jammed up. The little fish starts copping pleas and they get in the snitching, right? Same thing over and over and over again. We see this so many times to where people get involved in illegal activity. They get themselves caught up. They start testifying. They start, copping pleas, giving detail in exchange for a lesser sentence. And this right here is no different. Now, you let the people on Fox News and OAN and Newsmax or Steve Banner's little toilet, Steve Banner's in prison right now, right? While Marjorie Taylor Greene waiting outside that facility so she can go and see Steve Bannon so she can get her little conjugal visit on. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're back on this, right? Bobo the Clown. Hey, you out there in Colorado, ain't you part of this too? Ain't Bobo the Clown got something to do with this too? I'm just asking the question. And if for those of you who don't know who Bobo the Clown is Lauren Boebert. She used to represent the 3rd Congressional District in Colorado, but out of fear of losing that seat when who's that when Ken Buck represented the 4th Congressional District of Colorado. When he stepped down, when he retired, Bobo the Clown decided that, you know what, I'm going to run for the 4th District, Congressional District of Colorado so I can maintain my position in Congress. That's what she did. But I'll get back on that porn star reject in another video. We're back on Tina Peters, right? Because she was found guilty on August 12th for all those crimes I just rattled off, right? Or rattled off, I'm sorry. And we're going to get to the sentencing hearing because the sentencing hearing was very entertaining. The sentencing hearing was very, very, very entertaining, right? What's up, y'all? I see y'all up in the building. Darth Raider, Mike Lewis. You know what I'm saying? Salute to all y'all in the building. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you could do me a favor and hit that like button, that'd be great. Now, let's get to the first part of this clip. Well, actually, yeah, because this is during the sentencing hearing that went down on Thursday. All right. Now, I want y'all to see the exchange between Tina Peters and this judge. DJ, spin that shit.
In the machine, whatever it tabulates is whatever it tabulates.
No, it doesn't. It changes.
You're not letting me finish.
Okay,
whatever
please.
it tabulates is whatever it tabulates. My hand vote, my ballot remains the same. They counted those ballots. Did they not?
I understand what you're saying,
Did
Your
they
Honor.
count the ballots?
No, the ballot images were changed, and that's what the total shows. Okay, I'll move off of this because I can see that it, I would encourage to read the report number 3.
I've read them, ma'am.
You've read all of them?
I've read those reports. They were given to me at some point, I believe.
Good. Well, so you know what I'm saying is true. All right, let me move on. It's not funny. My life is on the line here, Your Honor.
No, you're the one who's making this allegation that, one,
It's
I think
not
it's
an
funny,
allegation.
and two, that I know it's true. You're saying that as if I believe you, and I did not say that.
Okay.
That is why
All right.
I made the sound, because it's insulting to me for you to just put that in a record in front of all of these people that I believe something to be true.
Okay, and I apologize for that, Your Honor. That wasn't my intent. I do apologize for that.
Now, for those of you who don't know who that judge is, he goes by the name of Matthew Barrett. He is a district court judge, all right? So he is not a federal judge. Once again, he is a district court judge, Matthew Barrett. He is not a federal court judge. So guess what? If Trump wins the election, guess who's not getting a pardon? It's this woman right here. Now, of course, they're going to appeal it, right? And those appeals are probably going to get denied or whatever like that, right? But guess what? She ain't getting no pardon, because to get a pardon, you have to commit a federal crime. And since this was not a federal crime and it was not held in federal court and she did not face a federal judge, that means she is not going to get federal prison time. She is going to get state prison time, and a presidential pardon does not help her in this case. So for any Trump supporter to try to come in here and try to flip the narrative and all that, oh, well, Trump will pardon her when she get her out. When he gets back in the presidency, not so fast. Not so fast. So again, for any Trump supporter that think they know the law, some street lawyer, some little street rat that's going to come in here and try to put their cheese all over my goddamn channel, absolutely the fuck not. Because see, unlike you, I know the law, right? Again, for the people in the back, she is not being convicted of a federal crime. This is a state crime, which means even if Trump wins back the White House, he cannot pardon her. So she's going to do this time in prison. And given the fact that she's like 68, 69 years old, right? She's probably not going to get out alive. But we'll see what happens, right? Now, let's get to the main event, which is the actual sentencing, right? Because this judge had a whole lot to say. Matthew Barrett had a whole lot to say when it comes to this woman and her quote-unquote white privilege, right? DJ, spin that shit.
The defense has, and Ms. Peters in particular, has remained quite defiant, which is her right, but certainly not helpful for her lot today. And in arguing why I should impose a particular sentence, she tells me about her ailments, her loss, her struggles in life. But in reality, for those of you who may have been here earlier this morning and seen some of the folks who've occupied that chair before Ms. Peters, there could be not much in the way of a comparison in terms of the type of sympathy one would extend to Ms. Peters. Those folks didn't have 4 lawyers representing them. They didn't have a team of assistants helping them. They're not getting rides in private jets all over the country. No, the people who sit in that chair suffer, generally speaking, immeasurable trauma in life, struggle mightily with alcohol abuse, substance abuse, mental health struggles, family loss. They come from broken homes. The cards they were dealt were never the cards that you were dealt, Ms. Peters. So when I hear you discuss your husband, who sadly passed away recently, your family struggles, and your son, who served our country admirably and made the ultimate sacrifice, I consider it. And I note, too, that he honored his oath to the country, something that is not lost on me when considering the circumstances under which you find yourself here. Your age, limited criminal history, and the like are certainly somewhat mitigating. Your ties to the community are what they are, but your reputation at this point is poor because of what you've done here and after. Your lies are well documented, and these convictions are serious. I'm convinced you would do it all over again if you could. You're as defiant as a defendant as this court has ever seen. You don't have those histories of drug and alcohol abuse. There's no lifetime of trauma, not even close to the type of mitigating circumstances I would see from many folks who sit in that chair. No, to the contrary, Ms. Peters, you are a privileged person. You are as privileged as they come. And you use that privilege to obtain power, a following, and fame. And to be sure, there's no doubt in my mind that it's exactly what you wanted, and it defies all sense of common sense to believe when you suggested to me a few moments ago that you didn't want this attention. No, you crave it, ma'am. And there is no one in this courtroom who would consider that to be anything other than the absolute truth. But to get to the point of what it is that you did here, it's my impression distinctly that you never took your job of clerking particularly seriously. You didn't complete the certification. One scandal after another followed you in your time as the clerk. And ultimately, it was a belief that the echo chamber in which you live couldn't be wrong, among other things, that led you to do what you did here. This thought process, unfortunately, seems to consume so many in our country, regardless of race, gender, political affiliation, or the like, that what it is we hear and think can't possibly be wrong. There are many things in my mind that are crystal clear about this case. You are no hero, you abused your position, and you're a charlatan who used and is still using your prior position in office to peddle a snake oil that's been proven to be junk time and time again.
All right, so what that judge was referring to as that Tina Peters trying to cheat for Trump, because Trump has been nothing but a self-serving charlatan and a liar this whole time. When they sit up here talking about, oh, there's election interference and the the election, they're trying to cheat me out of an election victory and all that because we won the election fair and square. Okay, then why is this old bitch here going to prison for 9 fucking years? What's up, Ted? This bitch should be at a retirement home making quilts and shit. And then to try to use her son's death, because her son was in the military, as a front to try to cover up for her fucking crimes is disgusting. But you know what? When you're dealing with white supremacists and all that, nothing is off the table. There's no law that they won't stoop to try to gain an advantage. There's no rule that they won't break. There's no morals that they won't impart in a situational standpoint to try to get themselves in a position of absolute power. Now, the Steve Bannons and the Charlie Kirks and these other funky-ass white supremacists out here who grifts for a living, who will feed you their proverbial red meat, will sit up here and lie and gaslight you as this woman, or portraying this woman out to be some public servant. When she ain't been serving the public, she's only serving a party of one. And then once we see these liars and these grifters and these con artists performing for a party of one, they're not doing that in blind they are doing it in blind deference to him, but they always want to get something out of it. You think these funky ass white supremacists do stuff for the kindness in their heart? No, this bitch was looking to get something out of it. That's why she was out there trying to cheat for Trump. That's why she got busted trying to cheat for Trump. And that's why she's going to go to prison trying to cheat for Trump. Now, if you funky ass white supremacists don't like that shit, well, that's just too goddamn bad. Don't get mad at me, right? Don't get mad at me. I ain't did nothing. All I'm doing is reporting the news. She got herself jammed up in this bullshit, right? Her little underlings got jammed up in this bullshit, and her little underlings was the one that ratted her out. Now, we back on it. Aye.
In your world, it's all about you. But at bottom, this case was about your corrupt conduct and how no one is above the law. No one in this country has absolute power. Your position as a clerk and recorder, a constitutional position, does not provide you with a means by which to do your own investigation, to not listen to the judiciary, to not listen to the executives higher than you, to not listen to the legislature who sets the law as it may be. This is nonsense. Our system of government can't function when people in government think that somehow, some way, the power they've been given is absolute in all respects. And that's where you fell. You have no respect for the checks and balances of government. You have no respect for this court. You have no respect for law enforcement. And you do not have respect for your fellow colleagues when you were a clerk and recorder who weren't lockstep in your beliefs. Period. Indeed, just weeks before trial, you were apparently doing what I mentioned earlier, that is, over at the clerk and recorder's office where you're not supposed to be, violating the protection order by speaking to employees of that entity with your camera crew in tow. You have no qualms with violating the court's orders because you're innocent, because you didn't do anything wrong. You were just doing your job. You have no problem trying to kick an officer. Your explanation about what happened is preposterous. It's on video. You have no problem lying to officers. It's happened multiple times. They're recorded conversations. It's just more lies. No objective person believes them. No, at the end of the day, you cared about the jets, the podcasts, and the people fawning over you. You abdicated your position as a servant to the Constitution, and you chose you over all else. Yes, you are a charlatan, and you cannot help but lie, as easy it is for you to breathe. You betrayed your oath for no one other than you. And this is what makes Miss Peters such a danger to our community. It's the position she held that has provided her the pulpit from which she can preach these lies. The undermining of our democratic process, the undermining of the belief and confidence in our election systems. It's not about questioning it. No one says you can't question, you can't ask. It's completely different. And if you don't understand that distinction, then there's nothing I can say or do here today that will change your mind. So the damage that is caused and continue to be caused is just as bad, if not worse, than the physical violence that this court sees on an all too regular basis. And it's particularly damaging when those words come from someone who holds a position of influence like you. Every effort to undermine the integrity of our elections and public's trust in our institutions has been made by you. You've done it from that lectern the voting public provided you with. Everything you've done has been done to retain control, influence. The damage is immeasurable. And every time it gets refuted, every time it's shown to be false, just another tale is weaved. So I'll begin by saying I've considered all of those purposes of staying of an execution of a sentence. I've mentioned all of them here generally in my comments already, and I find that a stay of any sentence I impose would be wholly unwarranted. All cases have a possibility of reversal on appeal, no doubt. I'm at peace with all of the decisions I've made here. If anything, I gave you and your counsel far too much leeway at times, but the rulings I made came after much consideration, incredible amounts of internal debate, and I trust in accordance with the applicable law. I consider the sentence here, in this case, what are available to me. Probation. Community corrections wasn't requested, but it wouldn't be an option in any event, and an incarcerative sentence to the Department of Corrections. Probation's focus is rehabilitation. That is, for folks who have minimal criminal histories, low LSI scores like you, Ms. Peters, but where punishment isn't really on the table. It's about putting someone back in the community who's not a risk and giving them a chance to correct those things that brought them before me in the first place. Community corrections, which again isn't available, but nevertheless I'll mention, is another option that I could still order. It's much more stringent than probation, but it's not prison. And it's for folks who have even higher needs. Again, drug addicts, alcohol abusers, and the like. And prison is for those folks where we send people who are a danger to all of us. Whether it be by the pen or the sword or the word of the mouth. Prison is where folks go, where punishment is what we're focused on, because the crime committed is so significant that anything less would unduly mitigate the seriousness of the same. I mentioned before there are no mental health concerns. There's no good reason why you're here, Ms. Peters, other than these are all the active decisions that you made that cost our county significantly, but also more importantly, cost you greatly, Mr. Wood, all the members of the county who worked and trusted you when you asked them to do things that they did on your behalf. It's part of your lies. The expense, the toll is immeasurable. So putting you on probation when you have zero needs that would be met by probation is the very definition of unduly depreciating the significance of what it is that you've done here, the harm that you've caused our community and continue to cause. Community corrections is the same, so prison is the only place that duly meets the purposes of sentencing in this matter. And therefore the sentence and judgment of the court is as follows. As to counts 1 and 4, the judgment and sentence of the court is 3.5 years in the Department of Corrections. Those sentences will be concurrent to each other. As to count 2, the judgment and sentence of the court is 3.5 years consecutive to counts 1 and 4. As it relates to the misdemeanor charges, count 8 is 120 days in the Mesa County Detention Facility, concurrent to count 9 and 10, which will be 6 months in the Mesa County Detention Facility, consecutive to the prison sentence. The reason those sentences are consecutive is because those sentences are, as the prosecution stated, directly related to what it is that you did here in our community, the damage you caused this community, the breach of your oath to the electorate in Mesa County. Your sentence will be followed by 3 years of parole. You have 2 days of pre-sentence confinement credit. Anything I missed? Anything else we need to address?
Judge, I think you missed a sentencing on count 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. Count 6 is criminal impersonation. That's also consecutive. That's 15 months to the Department of Corrections.
And the cost
So it's 8.5 years total, plus the 6 months for a total of 9 years of incarceration.
and I think the only other thing is the cost of prosecution, Your Honor.
Is there an objection to the cost of prosecution, Mr. Case? We could set it for hearing if you need to.
Well,
If you need to have time to respond to it, I can give you that as well.
yeah, we do, because we don't understand how that was calculated.
Very well. I'll give you 21 days to file an objection to the cost of prosecution. You can consult that with the prosecutor. If there's an objection, we'll set it for a hearing. Nothing else. Mr. Case, anything else?
Yes, Your Honor, we have a motion previously filed for a stay, which I believe,
I just denied that.
So in case you don't know what that means, he basically tried to keep her out of prison until the day she actually has to report to prison, and the judge basically shut that down. Okay, so that's what that means. Oh, well, we filed a motion for a stay until she actually has to report to prison. Yeah, the judge rejected that. Yeah, because we always see that these funky ass white supremacists, when they get found guilty and they get, prison time or whatever like that, they always want to file some motion to go home, and they need, time to adjust before they report to prison. Hell no! Get your ass in the pokey. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Get your funky white supremacist ass in that pokey. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Da, 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 da. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Da, 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 da. That's right. Get your ass in there. Because see, there could be a lot of other things you could be doing. But no, you wanted to cheat for Trump, and then Trump will go peddle them fucking lies on whatever outlet that'll give him a camera and a microphone, right? And then his surrogates and his hangers-on and his low-hanging fruit will keep on peddling those lies. Because if you tell a lie so many times, you will find it to be true. Somehow your brain will be tricked into believing that something is really wrong with those voting machines when it's not. There was nothing wrong with those goddamn voting machines. This woman was out here trying to tamper with them shits. You have Fox News and Tucker Carlson peddling them bullshit ass lies about the goddamn voting machines, and that's why Fox News had to pay $787.5 million, and that's why Tucker Carlson got fired off Fox News. And Smartmatic is getting a nice settlement off of Newsmax. Now, they didn't disclose what was the monetary amount, but yeah, Smartmatic is getting a sizable payout from Newsmax peddling bullshit about the election. So if there was so much issues with the election machines, why are all these people going to prison, huh? All these people around Trump, cheating for Trump, lying for Trump, peddling his bullshit ass conspiracy theories. All these people around Trump going to prison. But he ain't did nothing wrong. He's squeaky clean, right? Bobo the Clown, you next, you porn star reject. Right? Because it's already bad enough that your family, right, your ex-husband out there showing dick the little chicks at a goddamn bowling alley, right? Your son out there committing petty theft. You got a rap sheet as long as the toilet paper I have in the bathroom, Bobo the Clown. Hey, your ass is next, right? Bobo the Clown, I think you got something to do with this bullshit too. Anyway, this is what Tina Peters get. And at the end of the day, she's going to reflect on how this was so not worth it. She's going to remember all the bad decisions that she has made to end up in this position right now. You know the one surefire way to avoid prison time? Hey, for all you funky ass white supremacists out there, right? They always want to call yourself trying to throw the book at us black folks or whatever, right? Anybody that's, hey, had you complied, you still be alive. And hey, if all you had to do was follow the law, you would end up in prison. You know the one surefire way to stay out of prison? Don't end up in front of a judge. Right? Because, we got black folks here who get falsely convicted of crimes and get put in prison for football numbers. And yet we got this mothball win bitch who suffered from a severe case of menopause. Literally tried to rig voting machines all in blind deference to Donald Trump. And she going to prison. She getting a 9-piece of chicken for her crimes. What y'all got to say? And y'all people gonna keep the same energy for this woman? Huh? Are y'all gonna keep the same energy for this woman? She got what she deserved. And I feel absolutely, positively, 100% money back guarantee, nothing for this woman. Nothing at all. Her white privilege is why she thinks she can do this bullshit and get away with it. Her white privilege thinks that when the cops come to arrest her for her crimes,
let go of me. I'm happy right now. Let go of me. Do you know who I am? I will have you arrested yourself. I will take your job away from you. I hate me. Let go of me. I'm not kicking. I'm not resisting. Let me go, you asshole.
That's her right there. So, once again, Tina Peters, I feel nothing for you, right? You out here trying to do this stupid ass bullshit for what? What was you gonna get out of it, huh? Because look, nothing happens in a vacuum under white supremacy, right? What was you gonna get out of doing this shit, huh? You was gonna do this bullshit and then you just gonna lie and talk about, oh yeah, Trump really did win the election and all that. See, I got proof. What was you gonna get out of it, right? Because again, nothing happens in the vacuum under white supremacy, and these white supremacists don't do nothing out of the kindness of their heart. So what was you gonna get out of it, huh? Was you gonna get some money? Was you gonna get some fame? Was you gonna get some position in the cabinet? What was you gonna get out of it, Tina Peters? Huh? But yet they want to sit up here and project things on the Democrats. And again, criticism of one is not an endorsement of the other, because I don't support either party. I don't support Democrats. I don't support Republicans. All right? As far as I'm concerned, this whole election thing is one of the biggest shams out here in America. We got elected officials right now that won't do by the will of the people, but they will do by the will of the people who's kicking them off at 3 o'clock in the morning and in closed door off-camera sessions. The backdoor deals in oil fields. So, you guys let me know what y'all think about this, right? This was very fun to watch. That judge actually doing his job and actually putting a real criminal in prison. Again, if you don't want to end up in prison, don't end up in front of a judge where he holds your life in his hands. Period. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and share these videos on your social media platform. Hey, like my sister Carla Jenkins said, Tina Peters, hey, you can play the role of Paula Dean, right? And you can make them fried chicken and biscuits in prison, right? Make sure the biscuits ain't laced with, a little razor blade. Motherfuckers could shank somebody. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that when you make them biscuits, it ain't hard to work. It ain't so hard to the point motherfucker get a goddamn blunt force trauma to the head, huh? Because that's where you could be at. You could be in some Colorado correctional facility making them goddamn biscuits and chicken. That's right. So get used to it. You got 9 years to think about it. Shouts out to the LDBC. This your man. Scream at me. Hurt.